Hello beautiful people, Losing Drea here, and this message is for tlhopeful, who, this is a response video for her video where she has titled it Cancer. First off, girl, I want to say I am so thankful to hear it is not you. I think my heart was kind of sank, because, I know I don't know you personally, but we're all out here on this journey, and I do watch your videos quite a bit. And I care what you got to say, and when I saw it, I don't know, I guess I got too much heart. Like you, don't know what I'd do in your situation, but I will say this: I've had a lot of people in my family who have died from cancer. My grandmother died, I believe it was 1984, when I was the age of 12. Well, no, 82, I'm sorry, April 1st, 1982. She died of cancer, lung cancer, for having never had smoked a cigarette in her life. I lost my father to metastatic adenocarcinoma, which is every cancer known to man. He had had it from probably the mid-80s up until he died in, I think it was 2001. He had lived with it, not knowing he had it. My father-in-law died in, I believe it was 1995 or 96, from cancer of the liver. And my aunt, who had never had any children because she was only married once in her life, and the man was quite abusive to her, so she never got married. Her kids were all children that she babysat over the years for. She was like a professional babysitter. And she had smoked cigarettes, and then she had quit smoking about 12, I think it was about 12 years prior to when she was diagnosed with throat cancer. And it had been a bad laryngeal cancer that had gotten to her to the point where she could hardly talk over a whisper. And I took care of her because she didn't have any children. And I took care of my father. And I was there by his bedside all during his illness, helping him get whatever treatment he could to keep him comfortable. And in the end, when he expelled his last breath, and I was there when my father-in-law passed away and he expelled his last breath. Anyways, this is sort of a somber subject that, I really, I don't know what to say to you. And of course, anything I do say, you don't have to listen to me. But you've been talking to this gentleman and you seem to really like him, and now you're sort of let down by the fact that whether he's a friend or a boyfriend, you now know somebody in your life that is going through a difficult time with an illness that may or may not show its ugly face again. And there's a possibility that the life expectancy of this gentleman is not to be far exceeded into his future, but we never know as human beings, regardless if we have an illness or not, what lies ahead in our future. Even when diagnosed with an illness, as long as it's not catchy, of course, keep in mind, a doctor should never, and most real doctors will never, put a life expectancy on that patient, whether or not he has an illness that is life-threatening, and one knows that there is no cure. What I'm saying to you is this: you met this gentleman and he was honest and forthcoming enough to tell you of a situation that he already knows, that once before his honesty towards another woman that he was, or lady friend that he was trying to find comfort in knowing, led to the end of that friendship or relationship. That just because this man has whatever this debilitating or life-threatening disease, or the possibility of it resurfacing, though it may now be in remission, he still has a right to be comforted by a friend or someone to love him. He's not a leper. He's not carrying around a disease that you can catch. And you might be the type of person that can't deal with that. That's one thing. Because if it's going to always bother you, it's always going to bother you. And you're going to be scared, and you're going to walk around on eggshells, and you're not going to allow this man to enjoy whatever he has left of his life due to your own insecurities about what the possibilities may be in the future. With that said, I would definitely say, though, that as a Christian woman, you should really look into your heart and see that, all of us are not mortals, and all of us cannot live on forever, and all of us will at one day in our lives, more than likely, develop cancer if we don't die first from heart disease and a heart attack, or to just walk out in front of a car and get hit, or be involved in some sort of an accident with some stupid drunk driver, or just an accident and end up having our lives unexpectedly cut short. None of us know, but it's not for us to know, because if it was, God, no matter who your God is, no matter who that higher power is not, he'd let us know when it's going to happen. He's not going to keep us in the dark and not let us know when it's not going to happen, because it's not for us to know. If we did, we'd all be running around scared of living life, or scared of being responsible, thinking, okay, well, hey, the end might come. My expectant date is, February 18th, 20,211 or whatever. I don't know. I'm going way far beyond I'll probably live, so it won't, God forbid, happen because I said something. But what I'm saying is, if I knew that, maybe I'd go out and spend all my life savings or something like those people did, because they thought the world was coming to an end. We're not supposed to know when our end is coming. And even though, we're all sick with something, we never know when it could be our end. You can get the flu and you can pass away. This man is being honest with you. He's coming to you from his heart, and he's telling you something he feels you do have a right to know. And if that in itself doesn't give him the credit of a man who would be honest with you, which is what every woman would appreciate and love to have in their life, is an honest man who, if he's going to be that honest, he's going to stick with you, and he's going to be honest and give you the love and the attention and the affection I believe that you really deserve as a lady, as a person. Anyways, I'm not really good with these speeches, and I tend to go on and on and on. But when it comes to cancer, and having lost a lot of people in my life who have had cancer and or have even passed away from other ailments, and you never know. One could get Alzheimer's like my father's mother, my grandmother did, and just one day just wake up and not know who everybody around you is, and think your granddaughter is your daughter or your sister or whatever. I mean, one never knows what happens in your life. Something can, God forbid, strike you. Something can, God forbid, strike somebody in your family. Nobody is here for the long haul. We're all going to die one day. Unfortunately, as harsh as that may sound to some of those coming on and watching this video now, which is really just a response to you because I can't type that much. YouTube won't let me. And I really can't talk a whole lot either because my voice is not up to par. But I'm doing this because I don't like to see you basically struggle with the idea of what next? What do I do? How do I deal with this? When in fact it's natural that you're feeling the way you are. Just because you're a Christian, or no matter what your faith is, it does not matter. Everybody would have the same question in mind, and nobody would want to deal with something if they could avoid it, by all means. Why? Why walk into the fire if you know you're going to burn? Don't do that. But you're talking to this man, you're friends with this man. I think it would hurt you in your heart to know you walked away from this person, whether you're just friends or it goes beyond the friendship and gets a little bit more intimate. Whatever the case may be, that's something only you can decide for yourself. But just know in your heart and in your mind that no matter what, we all get something sometime or another, no matter what it is. And he basically has sort of the heads up on it where nobody else might. I mean, if you had a mole that you knew could possibly turn into something tomorrow, or you had multiple sclerosis and you knew that it was a form that was going to eat at your membranes or your brain or something, so that eventually you would not be able to talk, walk, whatever. You would know that something's coming. This man knows definitely something's coming, and he knows what that something is possibly one day. And maybe it's not. Maybe he can outlive. I've known people who've been diagnosed with cancer, who have gone through hospice and have gone on to live 10, 12 years, which is why I say doctors don't like to give that life expectancy to people, because they don't want to put basically an expiration date on a person when nobody knows when that expiration date may or may not be. So keep that in mind and go forth with whatever plans you have with this person during the holiday. I'd really like to see that it turns out that you're really happy that you did. And regardless to what happens to this person, he needs to live his life every day to the fullest. Everybody should live their life every day to the fullest, because none of us know when our tomorrow is going to be our last, or when our today is going to be our last. That's all I wanted to say to you. And I hope that what I say is beneficial to you or to anybody who's watching this video, because I really do care about you. And I just hope that you can be happy in the end, regardless to whatever you think of, whatever you do. Be happy, be healthy, be beautiful, but just be you. And I hope to see you in my next video.